Introduction to SAP. Now, please understand the situation. Why do we need any software? Very first thing is there. Let's say we have any company, right? Just take a normal example. We have any company ABC, and which have around 10 to 15 employees. 10 to 15 employees. Now, if we go and take the example of this particular company, say this is a software company. So we're working for software development. So let's make it software development company. For these 10 to 15 employees, they will be working on some materials, some data. There will be a HR person, so some resource allocation will be going on, some application development. Then each and employee life cycle management. So employee life cycle management. This will also be going on. For every company, we need these things, right? But this ABC company is a very small organization and it consists of only 10 to 15 employees. So for these 10 to 15 employees, all the data can be easily managed via Excel and Google Sheets, right? It's not a big deal. We can manage it even via Notepad or local file system. But again, these things are not very secured. Not very secured. Even we save it, and by chance, if we are going there and making some changes, automatically it gets deleted as well. So they are not very secured in nature. This will always be a problem with these things, right? Now, over the period of time, the company started to grow, and the number of employees will also grow. So started to grow as well. The revenue started to grow, then and only then we will hire new employees, right? Production will also start to grow as the company is growing. So production will started to grow. Scaling will be happening for the company, right? So that the company can expand itself into different locations. Lots of things will be happening parallelly. So if this much thing is happening, lots of data will also be there. Correct? Lots of data will also be there. Now, how we are supposed to manage so much of data? This is not possible via a normal sheet or Excel. It's not possible, right? Lots of data. By mistake, if there any corruption in the data, entire company will be in a huge loss. So to avoid this situation, these kind of situations, and automate the processes, every company always uses an ERP software for their company and data management. Every company always uses an ERP software for their company and data management. So the new term coming into picture is ERP, right? What is the job of any ERP, or what is a ERP? ERP software. So ERP is a very big terminology. It's like a deep ocean, very big terminology. Lots of ERP software are running the market, not only SAP, Oracle is there. Even there is a subdomain of ERP which is called customer relationship management, CRM. So these days Salesforce is also getting popular. Zoho is also one of the Indian company which is getting popular day by day. So ERP is a very big terminology, and ERP stands for Enterprise Resource and Planning. Enterprise means any company, a company. We have a resource. Resource means everything, including human being, funds, materials, sales, everything is a resource for the company. And then the word planning is here. So planning for effective, for maximum profit. That is the goal of any company. That's why any company is created, so that we can maximize the profit, because the company always runs on money. So profit is mandatory stuff. Under this umbrella ERP, lots of ERP software are there in the market, are there in the market, which includes Oracle, ERP. SAP is also one of the ERP software. We can also include Salesforce. It's not like a complete ERP, but only for CRM purpose. Zoho itself has its own ERP, but only mainly for CRM purpose, for customer relationship management. These days, Odoo is also getting popular. I do not recall its correct name. Well, let me just check it. Odoo. It's the one. So Odoo is also an ERP software. So many ERP software. So that's where our journey will start with SAP, right? Let's understand it first. And why, other than this ERP software, we should learn SAP. So SAP is an ERP software. ERP software which came into market in 1972. It's a very old product, like more than 50 years have already passed, even older than our parents as well. So SAP is an ERP software which came into market in 1972, and this was built by 5 former employees of IBM. Yeah, they left their job and they built an ERP tool which they named it SAP. The parent organization under which SAP works, so the parent organization of SAP is SAP AG. This is the company under which this software was built. This is a German-based product. German-based product, and its headquarters lies in world of Germany. So it's a German-based product, and its headquarter lies in world of Germany. So a product which was developed in 1972, how it was scaled so much that's in India also we are learning, or in other countries people are also learning and implementing, right? So any product, quality is very, very important. That's only it can become popular. So features of SAP software. Let's see this. Features of SAP software. SAP software is or supports more than 40 languages across the globe. Very important stuff. It supports more than 40 languages across the globe. So if you are not from native German, still you can use it. We are learning it in English language. In different countries, it is implemented in different format, in different languages as well, right? Then SAP requires a user-based license agreement which should be paid to SAP for its use case. It should be paid to SAP for its use case. It is mandatory. We can't use it without paying to SAP. This thing we must keep in our mind. So we pay some amount if we are using the SAP software. Third important point, since it supports different languages across the globe and anyone or any company can manage the data from any location for their company. Over the period of time, lots of company started to use this software, and then this software scaled up. So that is how its scaling was done. That's how it was scaled into different parts of the world. We can use it from any location. So once the SAP software is installed on the company servers, then anyone can use it from any location with the help of internet. The internet is very important, and it should be a proper Wi-Fi connection. If you are using your mobile internet, you will be seeing always a sudden drop of you will be always logging out automatically. These are some of the important features here. Now, SAP is currently the biggest ERP product in the market, and is used by almost 90% of the Fortune 500 companies. And in the future as well, they expect to do the same. So you can expect a very good career here if you are learning it in a better format. Is it clear for everyone?
Yes.
Right? Now, how does the SAP architecture changed over the period of time? So evolution of SAP software. SAP software. Evolution of SAP software. Here, if you see this, how things change completely. So in 1972, SAP came with its first generation software, generational software, and they named it SAP ERP or R1. This was the first generational software of SAP. Generally in SAP, we always use the word R. R means real time here. So real time SAP first generation software. That's what it means. Here, this consists of only one layer. Yeah, where all the data was managed, and user was also getting or performing user interaction. That's how things were working. This layer was not very secured in nature, as data was at the same layer and user was also performing the interaction. So there were lots of security labs here. So what SAP did over the period of time, SAP saw this mistake. And since not only the security issue, all the load was there on only single layer. So system was complicated and lots of performance issues were there. Were there. This was also one big problem here. So SAP saw this mistake and they came with their second generational software, same to same as you see in case of your normal phones, that every year, every company always came with some changes, right? They came with the next generation. This is also a software. So SAP came with the next generational software, which was called R2, real-time two-tier SAP architecture. Architecture. Real-time two-tier SAP architecture. Here, two layers were there. So two layers were there. First one became your application layer, and the second one became the database layer. Application layer and database layer. Now, if I see this here, these things, this application layer, this was responsible for writing the logic and performing user interaction, both the things. And then this was the database layer. So here it was for storing and managing the data. That's why two-tier architecture. So again, application layer, this is where the program runs. This was the place where program was running. And also user was performing the interaction. So unnecessarily, it was also causing some issues with the performance. So again, they decoupled it and they finally came with a three-tier architecture, which was called SAP R3. A three-tier, so here you can call it a three-tier SAP software. Here we had presentation layer for user interaction, application layer, and then database layer. Yes, you are hearing the correct word, presentation, application, and database layer. On the presentation layer, this was for user interaction. This became, so this software, third generational came around in 1990. Early, I'll say before 2000. The software came. So this was for user interaction. And here user was able to pass the input and get the output. So pass sending input and receiving output. for two things. This presentation layer here, what were supposed to do, we were as a ABAPer, we were developing the SAP GUI based applications, and we were creating mainly module based, so module pool based and screen related applications. We will see these things in the upcoming time. Then you have the application layer. So this is where SAP had the SAP NetWeaver component, which provides the runtime environment. Waiting in the lobby. So on this application layer, SAP have the NetWeaver component, which provides the runtime environment for the ABAP programs, for executing ABAP programs. So this is the place where our ABAP lies. Our ABAP lies on the application layer of our SAP R3 architecture. Finally, the database layer. So SAP was using, or mainly once we are implementing, we were using the other company's database, as SAP did not have in their own databases. So we were using other companies' databases like RDBMS databases, mainly relational database management systems, Oracle, Sybase, MySQL, and MS SQL. That's how the journey was working on for SAP system. Finally, SAP saw this problem that we do not have their own database, and if we will be using the other company's database for a long period of time, then we are supposed then we will not last for a long period of time, right? Because we cannot be dependent on others. If any company is dependent on any other product, definitely that is always a disadvantage. So SAP also wanted to earn this money by selling their own database. But the problem here was lots of RDBMS databases were already there in the market. So what they were supposed to do in this situation? So what they did here, finally, they came with their fourth generational SAP software, S/4HANA. Now see, the things completely change. It was called SAP S/4HANA, came in September 2015, September or August, almost same. What they did here, SAP built its own database, built its own in-memory database. Yeah, and they named it as HANA DB. And using the ABAP on HANA, they developed a new solution. They developed a new solution which was called S/4HANA system. S/4HANA became the fourth generational SAP product, S/4HANA solution. So this is the journey of our SAP system. This S/4HANA, again, S/4HANA is available in two flavors. One is our on-premise system, and the second one is called on cloud system. On-premise, all the setup is done by the company which is purchasing the SAP software. And then on cloud system is there. So here all the setup is done by SAP on cloud, and the company only buys the license, buys the license for using it on a rental basis, on a monthly basis. So we used to pay rent monthly. On-premise was purchased only once. If any extra support was needed, so we were supposed to pay to SAP. But on cloud, on a monthly or yearly basis, we are supposed to pay to SAP system. It's like a ready-made computer over the internet where we can directly log in and we can start using it. But on-premise system, here everything will be set up by the company which is purchasing the SAP software, and then they can start using it. So this is the journey of our SAP software. Is it clear for everyone?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's okay. Yeah. Now from here, we will see how we are going to suppose to install the SAP software.
Small
So,
doubt.
yeah, tell me.
Does SAP have their own cloud?
Yes, they have their own. But the thing is like, what you are going to see, lots of companies are providing infrastructure as a service. Like AWS is there in the market, and Google Cloud is there in the market. Microsoft Azure is there in the market. And what SAP is doing, SAP has done partnership with these companies. And on top of this infrastructure, SAP has created their own cloud platform, which they are selling it.
Okay.
So is it okay?
Yeah, yeah, okay.
All right. So SAP software. So once SAP is installed on any of the server, now we can simply add it. So once you do the installation, you can take it from the team. And then once you do the installation, you open the SAP system. Yeah, you just open the SAP system. Let me just show how we are going to add the credential. We already have added one, but then you can simply click on this new button. Yeah, new button here. Let me just copy the server. I don't remember its actual thing. That is the one. This is the application server where it is hosted. So let me show you how you can simply add a new one. Click on create button, go for connection, go for next. This is the description. So say I'm writing technical SAP server 2023. Here you can paste your application server. Instance number is S4H. So wait a second. What page here? I type the numbers. Yeah, I'm typing the number on. Let me check credential system ID. Okay, instance number is 22. All right, and S4H. Okay, let's add it. I'll just recopy creation connection. Next, this technical SAP server 2023. Oh, was not copied. It again. So connection. Next, SAP server, and you can paste the server here. Instance number is 22 in our case, and system ID is S4H. So these are the two things which is created on once the installation is done on our SAP software. Once the SAP software is installed on the server, it is done by the basis team, and the same thing you can use it once it is set up. Now go for next and finish it. And there you see we have added it. Now if I double click on this, the SAP is going to ask the username and password. That's why I have written here, SAP requires a user-based license agreement for the use of it. So you will get it, and once you have your user ID, you can just add the user and password, and you will log into your SAP system. This is your very first screen, which is also called as SAP EG Access screen. This very first screen is also called as SAP EG Access screen. You can see here. And this entire thing is SAP graphical user interface. The topmost line that you are seeing here, it is called as menu bar, which consists of menus, and every menu has certain features. It differs from screen to screen. We'll go there and we'll be watching some other menus. If I go there, see some different menu is there on this screen. Now below here, this section is called as command bar, where we are supposed to pass our commands. So let's understand this screen. SAP GUI can be divided into 7 parts. Very first one is menu bar. This consists of system menus, which are always available for every screen, and it differs from screen to screen. It will be changing from screen to screen. Second one that we are seeing here is called command bar. So next one we have is command bar. Command bar. So this is where we are supposed to pass our commands. Okay, pass our commands. These commands are called, a German name is given by SAP. It is called transaction code. So when you are in SAP system, you are only going to say the transaction code we are going to pass. Now the question comes here, what is a transaction code? So a transaction code is like a shortcut, alphanumeric string, which is used to navigate from one SAP screen to another one. That is the job of any transaction code on SAP graphical user interface. The third thing that we see here, there you can see some buttons we can see here, right? Here some button is there. If I'm going for another screen, there we see some another button is there. Back button, it is helping me to navigate back to SAP EG Access, right? So this third are called standard toolbar. standard toolbar or function keys as well. Function keys. So this consists of buttons which have some written inbuilt code behind the screen. Yeah, which gets triggered automatically when the button is clicked on. That's what it is happening. Yeah. Okay. Next thing that we see here is our title bar, where the title is written for the screen. The fourth one is title bar. This is where the title of every screen is given. Fifth one, we can see another buttons here just below, similar to this one, but also different. So this one is called as application toolbar. It's like extension for the standard toolbar. This also consists of some buttons for different purpose. Okay. Finally, we have this thing, the entire screen here, correct? This entire screen we can see here. So this is called as screen area of SAP graphical user interface. So screen area. This is where we develop the applications, database objects on SAP GUI. And the last one is called status bar. It displays the status for the database objects like messages. For example, this is the main section. This is called as status bar, the last one. If you go and check something, and let's say I'm opening one table and I am checking here for syntax. You can see I'm getting here one status message. No inconsistency is found, right? So this is my status bar for the screen where we are going to get the status messages. That's how we can divide our SAP graphical user interface into 7 parts. Is it okay or any confusion?
Sir, I have a
Hmm.
doubt. Actually, instead of transaction codes, can we use click and selection like other databases or other
How?
applications?
Can you please
Like
elaborate?
menu open. These transaction codes are used for as a shortcut to navigate to a desired location, right?
Yeah,
Instead of these transaction codes, can we just navigate like by selection?
you are asking, can I click on one of these and it will take me there?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So what you said is completely correct. We can create a, let's say I'm creating one favorite here. I'm adding one transaction. Again, transaction will have to anyway add it. So here say I'm adding my SA11 ABAP dictionary I have added. Now I'm clicking on this. It is taking me to the same place. But the question is, we have hundreds and thousands of transaction codes. How many of you will be able to add here? Getting my point? So anyway, you are using the transaction code only. Even if you create here a custom button, internally it is using the same transaction code to take you there, because that is the shortcut key to navigate that to that particular place. If I have to go to any place, let's say I'm residing in Noida currently, if I have to go to Bangalore, I will have to follow one path or not? Or can I simply just,
Yes.
yeah, is it possible for me to directly fade away from here and directly go to that place? It is not possible, right? I will take one route either via airport, via plane, or via road to navigate to that particular place, correct? That's how
Yes.
the same thing is designed everywhere. Okay, it's clear.
Yes.
Hope it is clear for everyone, right?
Amrit, small doubt.
Hmm.
You have created the application server, is that correct?
What we created?
I mean, just you have created this this dashboard that I'm seeing now. Yeah, the
This one?
instances. Yeah, what are these instances? Are they virtual machines or what? Like, how does it work?
See what exactly happens when a on the server, when any SAP software is created, then it acts like a virtual machine only. It is hosted on a one particular location for every company, and from there it is shared at different locations. Right now I'm at a different location, this server is at a different location, you are also at different locations, you are able to use it, right? So it just acts like a virtual machine which can be accessed by anyone from any part of the world, but it is hosted on one single location, and from there 24/7 it requires the electricity supply.
So, is there any disaster recovery or like that? Is there anything like that?
Yeah, so for that backup management is done by the technical team. They stores the backup every day, every time, so that if there is any failure, they can just restore it from the same place. That's how things work anywhere in the world. Even you see on the cloud system, what do you think? It is hosted on some different planet? No, definitely at some location in the world, some power supply is going on 24/7, which is helping that cloud to work.
In the data centers. Yeah.
Yes, data center is there, right?
Yeah.
So
Uh,
when I'm talking about on-premise system, the company have the data center for their own thing, right? But when it becomes the cloud, the provider becomes the provider is responsible for the data center. That's how that is the general difference for these two things.
so,
Okay,
what are these instances that I'm seeing now? I mean,
not instances. I have given the name for as an instance, nothing else. Here I've given the description as instance.
what
For
is that basically?
No, that's what I said. Now, whenever any SAP software is created on, is installed on the server, a instance number and a system ID is created by the basis team during the installation. Based on that instance number, you will be able to access your SAP server. If it is not correct, your server will not open. You will not
Okay,
be
okay.
able to access the GUI. So these three things are very important in case of SAP. Here we are passing our server. So this is my server where it is hosted. And on this server, a instance number with this system ID have been created. That's why we are able to access that section. On this server, they see the server is same, but different instances are hosted here, like 0106 as we can see on this. Correct?
Is it like
So
an IAM? Like every instance is one IAM? Can we say like that?
I don't know about IAM, what you are saying.
I mean, like each instance is meant for one user like that.
No, not for one user. Each instance is a different server. The
Okay,
main,
okay,
yeah, each instance is like a different server where lots of users are working. Can
okay,
you see
okay,
this?
got
This is the ECC system. Okay, I will come to that later on. Let it be.
okay, okay, got it.
So one thing I just forgot. This R3 architecture, this was called SAP ECC system, and which stands for Enterprise Central Component. Enterprise Central Component. This is obsolete at this moment, and SAP has also told to remove its support for SAP ECC system by 2027. That's how things are working here. Okay. Now, if I see here, I have opened this one session, this one single screen. So another note point here, some note point I will be writing here. Note point. For our SAP GUI, we can open at max of 8 sessions. Yeah, like this, you see one screen is there. So here we have two more things. Suppose we are on one session or screen, we are on one screen, and we want to open a different screen or a different transaction code. Also, that screen should not be closed on which we are closed. So we at this time we are going to use /o followed by the transaction code. So say I'm on SAP Easy Access, I want to open a different screen. For example, I want to open ABAP dictionary. So I'm opening SE11 here. And you see in the backend, my screen is still there. I can press Alt plus Tab to see both of them, right? If I want the second thing here, suppose we are on one screen, and we want to open again a different transaction, and also my current screen should be closed. If I want this, then we can simply use /n followed by the transaction code. So here if I write /n SE38, you see I am at ABAP editor now, and if I see in the backend there is no SAP Easy Access, all of them have been closed. Correct? So two things are there. At max 8 screens can be open at a time. If I want to open a new session, allowing the current session should be always there. So /o. And if I want to open a new session and also want the current session should be terminated, so we can use /n. We pass these things in the command bar. Here also in command bar. Okay. Is it okay? Right. Next.
Yeah.
Now we are going to create our objects. So generally we call them as database objects. How any database object is created here. And how they are stored. Very, very important thing. Let's take a generalized example of our normal life. Say I want to store something, correct? Just take an example. Suppose I want to store something. If I want to store something, I will always need a container, right? I will always need a container. Okay, so before going for that container, I missed one thing. Let me just explain that first. SAP system landscape. SAP system landscape. Now understand the situation here. What SAP has done, SAP has divided, what they have done, they have divided their SAP system into three different systems to avoid extra load on one. First one is called as development system. Second one is called as quality system. And the third one is called as production system. They have divided their landscape into three different parts: development, quality, and production. The reason behind is, if everything is going on the same system, there will be some extra load and we will not expect a very high performance from the application which has been developed. This development system is completely dedicated for development. This is completely dedicated for the development purpose, and the ABAP developers are supposed to develop the applications. So we will have the development access, This will be given by SAP basis team. This will be given by SAP basis team, and we will ensure that the applications shall be developed. Then we have the quality system. So this is for testing purpose only. The QA team is there. So the QA team, quality team, ensures that the app or the developed application shall be running in a proper manner. So they check for all the edge cases as well. And finally, the production system. So this is the live system. This is the live system where the application actually runs. This is the live system where the application actually runs. And this is where here end users are there, end users or even the customer checks the application. So three different systems we can see here: development, quality, and production. Now, how does the navigation is done from one system to another system? So what SAP does here, SAP has created one mechanism. So SAP has one mechanism which is called transport request. This ensures, or this is responsible for transporting from one system to another. That is from dev to quality and quality to production. Responsible. So transport request is mandatory if you are creating some application for your client. Okay. Now I was on this particular thing, that how any database object is created. This is a existing stuff, right? This is a entity. So if any entity is there, it is going to take some space, similar to the things that we see in our real life, like we are object, we are also object of human classes. So we requires a home where we can stay. If I have to store a packet of biscuit, I will need a container where I'm going to store it, right? So here in SAP system, all the objects, database objects which we want to create requires a container where we can store them. Okay. And these containers are called packages. These containers are called packages. Yeah. These containers are called packages. So we will be creating package and there we are going to store our objects. So there is my SAP system. I will go to my SAP Easy Access screen first, my main screen here. First, we need to create our transport request, right? This is the mandatory. So the T code. So the transaction code to create and maintain a transport request is SE09 or SE10. Both of them we can use. This is a standard transaction code given by SAP system. Another important note point, if any standard object is there, all the standard name objects given by SAP system always starts without Z or Y naming convention. And if we are creating something, any object, the name must start with Z or Y. Okay. Is it clear? So the transaction code to create all the standard objects given by SAP will always start without Z or Y naming convention. And if we are creating any object, the name must always start with either Z or Y. Both of them you can do. Generally, Z is followed by most of the people, around 99% people only follow Z because it has become now industry norm. Y is very rarely used, but again, if you want, you can use it, no problem. So here I will first create my transport request, SE10. There I can go and click on display button to check all the transport requests that I have already created here. You see, I can create a new one. I will click on create request. And here we can pass the short description. Transaction transport request for SAP ABAP weekends 11 a.m. training. Now, whenever you create a transport request, generally in any company, what happens is on any project, you can expect more than one people shall be working. So what here you see, we have the user, only this user have the access of this thing. So if you want any other user should also access this transport request, you can add their usernames here as well. So that's how in any company or in any project, more than one people usually work on single transport request. So now I will click on save and we see our transport request is created. If you see, it's like a folder. And inside this folder, whatever object we are going to develop, we can directly see from this one directly. So once we will want to transfer them from this development system to quality system, at that time it will become really easier. That is the exact location from where we do the transfer. Then we are required to create packages. So packages are created and maintained from SE21 transaction code. They are created and maintained from SE21 transaction code. So if you see here, I will go for this one /o SE21. Here I can pass my package name and always ensure the same thing. The name must start with either Z or Y. So I will start the name of the package as Z, and let's say ABAP weekends 11 a.m. Right? This is my package for the training. I will go for create button. And here I can pass the short description. ABAP weekends training. Every object always requires a short description, which helps the other users to understand what is the purpose of creating that particular object. This is going to be my container where I will be storing everything. So I will click on OK. And now see, by default, as soon as I'm clicking on OK button, automatically another pop-up is coming where the system is asking what will be the transport request where we are going to store this package. So we can select our transport request by clicking on this F4 help, and it will take us to all the transport request section, which is already there for this user ID. We just created one transport request for our training. So I will click on this, and now I will click on OK. So my package is created. I'll click on this save button and it is ready. This is one thing. Now, if you go to the transport request section, and here if you click on the refresh button, here you see the shortcut is Control Shift plus F6, or you can click on this application toolbar, refresh, click on this. Now we see this has also become one folder, and on this folder we can see we have one package as well, which we just created. If you double click on this, it will take you to the package section, which was also created. So directly from our transport request, we can navigate to the all object that has been created. If I show you for a sample case, for example, on this particular request, you see lots of object I have developed, right? Lots of objects I have developed. Yeah, you can see here. And everything we will be able to navigate. If I double click on those objects, you will be able to navigate to that particular location. Correct? So in our case, whatever things we are going to create in this training, we will be storing on into this particular package. The package is going to be like a container, and we have aligned this package for the transport request. That's how a general project is created in SAP system in any organization. So here we have linked it. So once our entire project will be developed and we will be supposed to send it to the quality team for the testing purpose, the basis team can directly put this transport request. They can directly take the package and transfer it there. All right. So is it clear for everyone? How does a package is created? How does it what is the use case of any transport request? And how does the project is handled in case of SAP system?
Yeah, yes. So, Ambit, I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please.
So,
One by one.
there were like two transports, right? One was the
Your
customizing and
volume is too low. Can you like
yeah,
increase it?
is it better? So my device is not that good. So is it clear now? Is it better?
Yeah, tell me now.
Yeah. So there were like two transport requests, right? One was the customizing and one was the workbench. So
Yes,
are both different from each other?
yes. So when I say the transport request, you saw it really good. Workbench. request. One is customization. First one is workbench request. So this is for pure development. And this is what the ABAP developers is supposed to use. When I'm saying customization, I said earlier that SAP is an ERP software, right? So this is an ERP software. It is going to consist of lots of things, not only the developer, but also here two terminologies are there. One is called technical consultant, where the technical people like ABAP developers and the basis people for the technical things. And the second one is functional consultant, who do not have the technical experience like development and all. So they do the customization of the project. So functional people take the requirement from the client and they do the customization basically of the standard SAP object for according to the client requirement. So if they are doing any sort of changes on the SAP system, it also requires a transport request, right? So for that, customizing request is required. Is it clear now?
Yeah, yes, but sometimes when we do some configuration at that time also this workbench request comes up. Functional consultant.
No, no, no. If it is like a development kind of thing, then this workbench request will come. If whatever you are doing, it's related to development, then and only then it is going to come. Because here there something is some creation is supposed to be there, or say if I'm making a changes where there will be some changes in the runtime component in the database, then and only then this pop-up will come. So once over the period of time you will start developing your objects, then slowly you will get used to these things. Okay.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. So I created our package and we created our our transport request as well. Now from here, our very first chapter journey will start. This is known as ABAP dictionary. This is the dictionary of SAP system. Like whenever we start our learning journey since our childhood, we always learn the dictionary keywords like A, B, C, or in Hindi. Other things are there in numeric 1, 2, 3, 4 things are there, right? So dictionary is mandatory for everywhere. This is the most basic chapter and like a pillar for learning SAP. And here what we are supposed to do, ABAP dictionary is used to create and maintain database objects like tables. Here you are going to see other things. Search helps will be there. Views will be there. Domains will be there. Data elements will be there. Yeah, etc. So this section is used to create and maintain the database objects like tables, search helps. Okay. Very first here, if I go, the transaction code for ABAP dictionary is SA11. This is the section where we are going to create it. And if we go there, say I'm going for SE11, We are going to see all the desired radio buttons here, like table, view, data type, type group, domain, search help, and log objects. Lots of things we can see it from here. So I'm just pasting it here. You can see table, view, and other things, right? So very first thing that we are seeing here is a table. Very first question, what is a table?
Place where the
Hmm.
data is stored, right?
Data is stored, okay. So is it the only place where data is stored, or we have some other things as well? Think about it.
There are also fields where the respective data is stored. So
Fields. Okay. Any other definition for this? Table, right? So table is the permanent storage of data. Storage of data inside any database. In our case, if you check the database, you can also check the program behind your screen by just clicking on here, go for it, system, and check the status of the system, and see here the transaction, the system screen here, and you can see the program created behind it. For any screen, not only this one. You check here the database system, HANA database is there, HDB, correct? So what I'm saying here is, table is the permanent storage of data inside any of the database. This is the first. This is the only permanent storage of data, and rest everywhere thing we will be seeing is will be a temporary storage only. Tables always store the data in rows or column format. Tables always stores the data in rows or column format, like this way. So if I just show an example, or better, I just open the table and show it here. So I'm going for this table, I'm opening it, I'm checking the content of it and clicking on execute button. And I can see here like rows, second, third, and in form of columns. That's how the data is stored in any table. And if you see here, now what SAP has done in SAP's system, the tables are generally, they have divided the table into two formats or two. Okay, no problem. We'll see that part later on. Right now, we just focus on table. Okay, this is the only where the data is going to be stored in form of rows or column format. Now, suppose I have to create a table here. Say I want to create a table which consists of employee ID, or let's say student table. I want to create one student table which should have student ID and any type. Here say I want to store the student data, so I'm making it numeric 3, Student name I will have, where I'm going to store the student name, its type, whatever the value we are going to store inside this particular column. So let's make it character 30. Student enroll course will be there. So there we are going to make it, let's say, character 30 again. Then course price. So we are going to make it currency column up to 11 comma 2, or 11 is too big, 9 comma 2, up to 2 decimal format, because the amount values can go in decimal format. So I'm making it up to 2 decimal format. And then we have a currency field where we will be storing the currency in which the course is enrolled. So this is, I'm making a CUKY 5 length. Suppose this is the table which I want to create. This creation part we will be seeing in our next session.